Welcome to my channel. Today I want to tell you a secret that can change the way you learn English. What if I told you that your mistakes are not something to fear, but something to love? Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning. They are your best teacher. If you stay with me in this video, I will show you how mistakes can help you speak better, learn faster, and become more confident in English. Chapter 1. Why mistakes are your best teacher. When I was young, I wanted to speak English well. But I was afraid. I was afraid of making mistakes. I thought if I said the wrong word, people would laugh at me. I thought if I made a mistake, it meant I was not smart. So many times, I stayed quiet. I wanted to speak, but I kept silent. Maybe you feel the same sometimes. Maybe you feel afraid when you speak English because you think about mistakes. But let me tell you something today. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your best teacher. I remember one day in my English class. I wanted to say I am hungry, but I said I am angry. My teacher laughed kindly and said, "Don't worry. Now you will always remember the difference between hungry and angry." And she was right. From that day, I never forgot those words. That small mistake became a big lesson for me. Can you see what happened? The mistake gave me a gift. The gift was learning. If I had stayed quiet, I would not have learned. But because I made a mistake, I became better. Think about it. A baby does not walk perfectly the first time. The baby falls many times. Every fall is like a mistake. But the baby does not stop. The baby falls, learns, and tries again. And one day, the baby walks, then runs, then climbs. This is life. This is learning. And it is the same with English. Every mistake you make is like a fall, but every fall is a step forward. Without falling, you cannot learn to walk. Without mistakes, you cannot learn to speak English. I once had a student who never wanted to speak in class. She always stayed quiet. One day I asked her, "Why don't you speak?" She looked at me and said, "Because I don't want to make mistakes." I smiled and said, "But if you don't make mistakes, how will you learn?" She thought for a moment. Then slowly, she began to speak. She made mistakes, many mistakes. But every mistake showed her something. After some weeks, she started to smile in class. She became more confident. Her English started to grow. And do you know what she told me later? She said, "Teacher, I learned that mistakes help me, not hurt me." That was the moment she understood the secret. Mistakes are like stepping stones. Imagine a river. You want to cross the river, but the water is deep. How do you cross? You step on the stones in the water. Each stone takes you one step closer to the other side. Mistakes are those stones. Without them, you cannot cross to fluency. Each mistake is one step forward, one step closer to your goal. Many learners think mistakes mean failure, but that is not true. Mistakes mean progress. Every mistake means you are trying, and when you try, you grow. If you never make mistakes, it means you are not trying enough. So the more mistakes you make, the more you learn. The more you speak, the more you improve. Do you see the pattern? Mistakes are not something to hide. They are something to celebrate. I remember another story. There was a boy in my class who loved to speak fast, but sometimes he said the wrong words. His classmates laughed at him. He felt embarrassed, but I told him, "Do not be afraid. Every mistake you make is teaching you something. If they laugh, let them laugh. You are learning, and one day you will be better than them." He listened. He continued to speak. With time, his mistakes became fewer, and soon everyone was surprised at how fluent he became. His secret was simple. He was not afraid of mistakes. So I want you to think differently today. When you make a mistake, do not say, "I am bad at English." Say, "Thank you, mistake. You are my teacher." Every time you forget a word, every time you say the wrong thing, every time you mix grammar, smile and say, "I just learned something new." This mindset will change everything for you. At the end of this chapter, I want you to remember one lesson. Mistakes are your best teacher. They guide you. They show you the way. They make you stronger. Without them, you cannot learn. So next time you make a mistake, do not feel sad. Feel proud, because it means you are learning. And if you keep learning, one day you will look back and see how far you have come. Stay with me, because in the next chapter, I will show you how to use your mistakes to become even better in English. You will learn how to take every mistake, turn it into a lesson, and make it your power. Chapter 2. How to Learn from Mistakes. When we talked in the last chapter, I told you that mistakes are your best teacher. But maybe you are asking now, how can I learn from my mistakes? How do I use them to get better? This is a very good question. Many students make mistakes, but not all students learn from them. Some students repeat the same mistake again and again because they never pay attention. Today, I want to show you a simple way to turn every mistake into a lesson. I once had a student named Ali. He loved to speak, but he often forgot words. Every time he spoke, he would stop and say, "Oh, I don't know the word." He felt frustrated. One day I told him, "Ali, bring a small notebook." Every time he forgot a word, I asked him to write it down. Then, after class, we wrote the correct word together. The next day, he used those words again. Slowly, his vocabulary grew. The mistakes that made him frustrated before became the reason he learned faster. Why? Because he didn't just make the mistake, he learned from it. So here is the method. It is very simple. Step 1. Notice your mistake. Step 2. Write it down. Step 3. Correct it. Step 4. Try again. That is all. If you follow these 4 steps, your mistakes will become your best lessons. For example, if you say, "He go to school" instead of "he goes to school," don't be upset. Write it down. Correct it. Then practice saying it the right way. He goes to school. The more you do this, the stronger your English will become. I had another student who loved to sing English songs. She often mispronounced the words. At first, she was embarrassed. But instead of giving up, she started to record herself singing. Then she listened to the recording. When she heard the mistakes, she corrected them and sang again. After some weeks, her pronunciation became clear and beautiful. Do you see the secret? She used her mistakes as a mirror. The mistake showed her what to change, and that change made her better. Mistakes are like signs on the road. Imagine you are driving to a new city. You don't know the way. Suddenly you take the wrong turn. You go in the wrong direction. What happens? You realize it was wrong, and you turn back. That wrong turn is like a mistake. It does not stop you forever. It simply shows you that the other road is the right one. Without that mistake, you would not have known the correct way. Sometimes students tell me, "Teacher, I feel so bad when I make mistakes." But I always say, "Feel happy instead." Why? Because the mistake is showing you something important. It is like a light in the dark. It shows you where you need to improve, and when you see the light, you can walk forward with more confidence. There was once a very shy student in my class. She never wanted to speak because she was afraid of mistakes. I gave her a challenge. I said, "I want you to make 10 mistakes in class today." She looked surprised. She asked, 10 mistakes? I smiled and said, "Yes. 10 mistakes. That is your homework." She laughed, but she tried. She spoke. She made mistakes. She counted them. At the end of class, she was so happy because she had spoken more than ever before. And do you know what happened? After some weeks, she didn't need to try to make mistakes anymore. She was speaking naturally, and her mistakes became fewer. Why? Because she practiced. Because she was brave enough to make mistakes. This is what I want you to do too. Don't hide from mistakes. Don't run away. Welcome them. If you mispronounce a word, say it again. If you use the wrong tense, try again. If you forget a word, learn it. Every time you do this, you grow. Another simple way to learn from mistakes is to ask for feedback. Speak with a friend, a teacher, or even record yourself and listen. Sometimes we cannot see our own mistakes until someone points them out. One of my students used to record his voice every day. At first, he felt shy listening to himself. But soon, he noticed where he needed to improve. His R sound was not clear. His TH sound was missing. He worked on these sounds, and little by little, his pronunciation improved. Without listening to his own mistakes, he would not have known what to change. So I want you to remember this. Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning. Every mistake is like a small teacher whispering, "Here is the lesson. Learn me. Use me. And if you listen, if you write them down, if you correct them, you will see progress faster than you ever thought." Now let me ask you a question. What was the last mistake you made in English? Did you write it down? Did you correct it? Or did you just forget it? From today, I want you to try something new. Keep a small notebook. Call it My Mistake Book. Every time you make a mistake, write it there. At night, read it. Practice the correct form. This little habit will change your English forever. So remember the 4 steps. Notice your mistake, write it down, correct it, and try again. Do this every day, and soon your mistakes will become your power. In the next chapter, I will show you how mistakes not only teach you, but also build your confidence and fluency. Because when you stop fearing mistakes, you start enjoying English. And when you enjoy English, you grow faster than ever before. Chapter 3: Mistakes Build Confidence and Fluency. In the last chapter, I showed you how to learn from your mistakes. Today, I want to go one step further. I want to show you how mistakes not only teach you, but also make you confident and fluent. Maybe you are thinking, how can mistakes make me confident? Don't they make me nervous? Yes, at first they do. But if you keep going, something amazing happens. The more mistakes you make, the less you fear them. And when you lose fear, you gain confidence. Let me tell you a story. I once had a student named Maria. She moved to another country where people spoke only English. At first, she was terrified to speak. She thought, what if they laugh at me? What if I say something wrong? But she had no choice. She had to speak to buy food, ask for directions, and meet people. She made many mistakes every single day. Sometimes people corrected her. Sometimes they just smiled and understood her meaning. After a few months, she realized something powerful. Nobody cared about her mistakes. People cared about her effort. That day, she stopped being afraid. From that moment, her English started to grow faster. Do you see the secret? Confidence is not the absence of mistakes. Confidence is the courage to speak even with mistakes. Think about a baby learning to walk. Does the baby fall? Yes, many times. Does the baby stop trying? Number. Every fall makes the baby stronger. Every fall builds balance. The same is true with English. Every mistake is like a fall. But every mistake also helps you stand stronger the next time. Some of my students wait for the perfect moment to speak. They say, "Teacher, I will speak when my English is better." But I always tell them, no, your English will get better when you start speaking. Fluency does not come from silence. Fluency comes from practice, and practice means mistakes. Here is another truth. Mistakes make you fluent faster. Why? Because when you make a mistake, you remember it more deeply than when you get something right the first time. Imagine you say, "She don't like coffee." Later, your teacher corrects you. "She doesn't like coffee." That small correction will stick in your mind because you felt the mistake. The next time you want to say it, you will pause and remember, ah yes, it's doesn't, not don't. Slowly, this becomes automatic. This is how fluency is built, not from avoiding mistakes, but from making them and learning from them. I had a student who wanted to sound like a native speaker. He practiced every word carefully, but he spoke very slowly because he was afraid of mistakes. People could understand him, but he did not sound natural. One day, I told him, "Forget perfection. Just speak." He started speaking faster, and yes, he made mistakes. But do you know what happened? His speaking became more natural. His rhythm improved. His confidence grew. In the end, people enjoyed talking with him more because he sounded alive, not like a robot. This is why I always tell my students, fluency is not about speaking perfectly. Fluency is about speaking freely. Mistakes are part of that freedom. Let's try a small exercise together. I want you to say a few sentences out loud right now. Don't stop. Don't think too much. Just speak. For example, I like learning English. Sometimes I make mistakes, but I am not afraid anymore. Every mistake makes me stronger. Did you say them? Good. That is fluency. That is confidence. Not perfect grammar, not perfect accent, just the courage to open your mouth and speak. Another important point. When you are not afraid of mistakes, people feel more comfortable with you. They see you are relaxed. They see you are willing to learn. This makes communication easier. Many times, people respect you more for trying, even with mistakes, than for staying silent. I remember once I traveled to a country where I didn't speak the language. I tried to order food in their language. I made many mistakes, but I smiled. The waiter laughed, but in a kind way. He helped me say the words correctly. We both laughed together. That small mistake created a connection. It built friendship. This is what mistakes do. They open doors. They connect people. So from now on, I want you to change how you see mistakes. Don't see them as failures. See them as proof that you are learning. Every mistake you make is evidence that you are practicing. And every practice brings you closer to fluency. Here is a small rule I want you to remember. No mistakes, no progress. If you are not making mistakes, it means you are not pushing yourself enough. But if you are making mistakes, it means you are growing. Let me end with this. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Mistakes are like the weights in the gym. They may feel heavy, but they build your strength. Without them, your confidence muscle will never grow. So, go ahead. Speak. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Smile at them. Because in the end, mistakes are not your enemy. They are your friends. They are your best teachers. They are the path to fluency and confidence. Now the choice is yours. Will you wait for perfection, or will you step forward and grow through mistakes? I hope you choose the second path, because that path leads to freedom in English.